Hi, this is Jim Brown with Tech Clarity. Welcome to the show where we ask industry experts some really important questions and maybe some that are just for fun. Today I'm joined by Monica Schnitger of Schnitger Corporation. She's the president and principal analyst there. She's an industry thought leader. She really helps people understand technology for engineers, designers, and makers. And today we're getting together to talk about the adoption of the cloud for product innovation, engineering, and industrial software. But like we usually do, we're going to make sure to ask a couple of questions just to keep things interesting. Hi, Monica. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Jim.
So what changes have you seen over the last year related to the cloud for product innovation, engineering, and industrial software?
Well, clearly the big news was the pandemic, which forced everybody to do things remotely. So we had remote meetings with Zoom, we have remote collaboration. And really, if you think about it, it seems as though the move to cloud technologies really kind of took 5 years, maybe 10 years, depends on the company, and compressed it into a very short time frame.
All right, so we like to ask some wildcard questions. Monica, what's your favorite browser?
My favorite browser is Mozilla's Firefox because I am told that it is the most secure. I don't know. That's what they say.
Do you think that manufacturers are looking at the shift to the cloud as an all or nothing proposition?
Oh, absolutely not. I think that they're choosing what they do where. I think that they may have CAD on the desktop, but collaboration using the cloud. They may have simulation both locally because they can and on the cloud for either extra capacity, extra compute power, or when their HPC center is full. I think that they're choosing what they do where because they know that they can create their own environment the best way that they want to use it.
So, Monica, what was the first computer that you ever used?
That I ever used? I don't even remember. It was a terminal thing that was this horrible teletypey kind of thing that went to a mainframe somewhere. It was awful. It was truly awful.
What opportunities are there for the cloud that are specific to the kind of software we deal with, product innovation, engineering, more industrial things that, maybe aren't just the same as running another application on the cloud?
Yeah, we can't discount the normal benefits, right? The lower cost of entry, the fact that somebody else is responsible for product updates and all that stuff. But I think that the real advantage in our space of the cloud is that it allows companies to get more types of users involved because of the lower cost of entry, perhaps, or because it's easier to use. And it's also easier and less risky for them to try new things. And I think that's really important. One thing that these companies all need to do is improve their resilience and adaptability because this wasn't the only shock that they're going to see, and they'll be better prepared for next time.
Monica, what was the first computer you ever owned?
That was cool. That was a Mac. It was one of the first ones that hit the market. It had a little tiny screen, and you got a cassette in the box, and you had to use your boom box. And so you listened to the cassette and then did things with that Mac. It was really fun and very approachable and not at all intimidating. And of course, today we can connect to the cloud and get videos and all sorts of cool stuff for doing things. But back then, this was so different and really an awesome way to get started with personal computing.
So, Monica, what advice would you have for manufacturers that are out looking at the cloud right now for more of their engineering industrial software?
It's a great question. I think what we're starting to see is a bit of a digital divide where companies that jumped on this early in the pandemic or even before the pandemic and sort of had this roadmap that they were able to execute last year, and the companies that haven't even started. So for the companies that are already on this path, keep going. You're doing great. For the companies that haven't started, start taking a look at what your options are. Do you maybe want to do more collaboration in the cloud? That's an easy way to get started. Do you do simulation? Do you want to do some of that in the cloud? The basic idea is to get your feet wet and to try to become comfortable with security and access and uptime and all of those other things, and then expanding your footprint in the cloud as you get more comfortable with it. But you do have to start because your competitors are all doing this now. So it's time to get moving.
Monica, thank you so much for joining today. I always enjoy talking to you, especially when you say boombox, and also learn something from you every time we talk. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Me too.
Thanks for joining us today on the web show where we ask some questions that most people might not think to ask. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Siemens Digital Industry Software, for really helping make this happen. You can learn more about how the cloud really can help quite a bit in product innovation, development, engineering, and other industrial areas from the Siemens website.